Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all have to bear with me tonight as we are in Kansas with the HTL Racing League. Of course, up here in the booth, you've got myself, Jeremy Robbins, along beside me, Richard Hurst. And he is temporarily rebooting his computer. He had a little shake up. I was not planning on streaming, but here I am under the weather at all. So right now we're going to ride with Josh Van Winston, who the past couple weeks has been kind of unavailable, but he is making his comeback today, and he is looking like he's putting down a pretty good lap. As you're seeing them starting to, numbers are starting to pop up on the qualifying board.
All right, looks like I'm back.
Well, welcome back, Richard. How are you thinking tonight in Kansas is going to look?
I think it's going to look very good. Going to be some high line racing, some low line racing. We're going to see if Dustin Hall can get his third win in a row. I think it's going to be very exciting tonight.
Yeah, he's going for three in a row, and if he does, that's going to be the first in HTL racing history. But I'll tell you who's right behind him, and that is Nathan Eastout.
Yeah, he's been running in the top 5 every single race, and I think he's going for his 6th top 5 in a row. Maybe he can get lucky and actually get up on that podium in that first place position.
Yeah, him and Dustin have been fighting the points lead. They are within 4 of each other, and the closest to him in P3, you've got Frankie Barossa, who is sitting at 266. But Frankie did miss a race, so to be a race down, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, and just because he's a race down doesn't mean anything. They got plenty of racing left to go, so I look to see him, make some moves and catch up in those points. He's been very consistent every race, uh, so like I said, I look for him to catch up in those points, very shortly. It's going to take a little bit of work to catch up to Dustin Hall and Mr. Estep, but I think he has it in him. Uh, Watched him plenty of times in practice, in every practice, and he's very consistent. So I don't think he'll have a problem catching up.
It looks like wrapping up his second lap. Nathan is sitting right now in the P2 with a 30.44. And that is going to wrap up his second lap, and that was not good enough to get the pole. And right now, Josh Van Winston is still sitting on the pole with Estep 3/10 of a second behind him. I think we've got some out there that's not qualifying tonight. Get out there, y'all.
And that could be one of their strategies.
Very well.
We got 30 laps, 29 to 30 laps for stage 1, and 59 to 60 laps to the end of stage 2. So, that could be a good strategy to do. Save your tires till the end, and make your moves. Because Dustin Hall's gonna run, just basically hauling ass, right out the gate. So that could be some of these guys' strategies. Save your tires, maybe even pit a little bit early, and come out, in that top position at the start of the stage because you pitted a little bit early. We could be seeing some of those strategies play out. It's going to be interesting to see, but we have a lot of laps. Anything can happen. I did see, Dustin Hall in qualifying, get into the wall a couple times. So is that going to be, a factor? Are we going to see, a couple of these heavy hitters, scrape that wall, lose speed, mess up the handling of that car, especially with that high line. Once you get sucked into that wall, it holds you there.
Yeah, that wall is unforgiving. It's like it's got a magnet on it. When you're coming right out of 3 and 4, it just if you get a little too close, it sucks you to it, and it just keeps you there until you either wreck, wipe out, or let off and lose a few positions.
Yeah, and I expect to see it happen to the best of them as I am loading in.
I'm gonna guess you didn't feed that hamster
Let's
near as
see.
much today as you should have, did you?
No, I tried to get Taco Bell's Wi-Fi, but apparently they turn it off.
It didn't make it across the border, so we're gonna have fake taco, fake Mexican.
And what happened to the Gladiators number 25?
Blake Henderson just yanked the pole away from Josh Van Winston, running a 30.4 compared to Josh's 30.41. And it looks like we've got Dustin Hall out on the track to qualify. Barossa just snapped Blake's pole start with a 30.31. The man on the field right now qualifying is going to be Dustin Hall. And he is riding that high side going into 1 and 2 on the backstretch. And he is going to do his best to get the pole. His first lap was a 30.10. As he comes across the start finish, a 30.74. That is going to put him back in the ninth position. So he's making around for his second lap of qualifying.
He's probably taking it easy on these first couple laps to get some heat in those tires. Um, that low line can definitely.
All right, they look like they are getting
Oh,
ready to load up.
that was his first lap, so he missed a lap. It looks like he cut it 2 to 3 seconds too short on his qualifying lap.
That start finish line does not move.
Absolutely not. So it looks like we got Frankie on the pole, and we got Blake Henderson for you Blake Nation fans sitting in that second position on that front row. Josh Weston came in third. Nathan Estep sitting in fourth position. Donaldson sitting in fifth. France in 6th. Smith in 7th. Perry in 8th. Hall in 9th. Whitlock in 10th. It's good to see him back out on the track. We haven't seen him in a couple races. We got Boyer in 11th and Tucker in 12th. And Gary Wood Jr. looks like he is showing in the 13th position.
Yeah, that's all going to
As we
change
get
as
rolling.
Steve Tucker is serving his EOL penalty from last week because he is serving it on this track. So
A lot of racing, a lot of laps. Anything can happen. We can see him move up to the front. Surprised that Dustin is back in the 9th position. So I look to see him move up towards front. Like I said, he was kind of strong in practice. Um, so we'll see how he can make up some positions. See if he has any kind of strategy to get back up to the front.
he better come up with a strategy if he wants to keep that streak alive.
Yeah, because you got a lot of these guys that have finished in the top 5, every race. And as we're about to go green, we're about to see some Kansas racing.
Frankie got him a
going to
good
turn
jump.
1. Yes, he did. And as the 21 of Weston is going to try to take that second spot away from Henderson. Henderson is going to try to fight back using the draft on that outside. Is he going to keep the high line? E-Step is thinking about taking it 3 wide, and they get it straightened up. Oh, a little contact between the 55 and the 21. And here comes Dustin Hall. They are 3 wide going into turn 1. The 19 to 25, 22. And now the 4. Frankie has gotten out to a little bit of a lead there. He is 0.7 seconds in front of second position. But like you said, this is a, kind of a draft track. They can link up and catch him. We got a little battle for second place. Got E-Step on the high line, or running the middle line. We got Weston on the bottom. It's a battle of the Chevys. The nearest Ford is sitting in 7th place. I guess I'm going to have to switch manufacturers. Chevy Tough Dish, that sounds the same. And look who we have fighting for that 3rd position. We have Dustin Hall, who has fought his way up to the 3rd position from 9th. Oh, the 21 gets a little bit loose, makes a slight scrape on the wall, able to save it, but he's still got a little bit of damage on the rear of that number 21 Chevrolet Camaro. Yes, we do. 6 of 116 laps. Like I said, we will see stage 1 end at 29 to lap 30. I think they're just settling in, getting a feel for their car before they really push it very hard. Blake Henderson qualified pretty well. He was talking to me earlier and said, he just wasn't sure about the tracks or this particular track, if it was going to be a high line, low line. So I think we're going to see him just, fall back, stay out of trouble, and gather his thoughts about what his car can and can't do.
Well, right now we look like we've got us a little battle developing between Bryce Boyer, Josh Van Winston, and Steve Tucker. They are looking and debating on putting it 3 wide, possibly 4 wide, if Nicholas France comes into the picture going into 1 and 2.
We could be seeing a battle heat up here very soon for the lead, as we have Nathan Estep running down the leader. He is within 0.3 seconds. So within a lap or two, he is going to be on the back bumper fighting for that lead. And I see that they're running totally different lines. Estep is kind of diamonding, turns 1 and 2, I guess making up some of that ground. And now he is right there in the draft, and he could be overtaking that number 12 car for that lead. And not to mention, Dustin Hall is right there within striking distance of both of them. Looks like everything settled out between the 24, the 21, and the 19, and the 1 car. Looks like they have just lined up, and they're going to try to run down these leaders.
It looks like they are starting to get that line down.
That's what it looks like, and our lonely Toyota is still sitting back in the 11th position back here with Mr. Blake Henderson, one of the 2 Fords that are in the race. It looks like all Chevy show for right this second, but it looks like these guys have kept their cars clean, and I think they can make something happen as long as they don't go laps down. They stay on the lead lap, they stay out of trouble. I think they're just trying to figure everything out right now. And looking up towards the front, I see the number 4 car, which started in 9th, has now made it up to the 2nd position, going for the lead.
Yeah, Dustin's made some heavy strides.
I'm not sure
right
what
now.
happened. I'm not sure exactly what happened to Greg Wood, but it is showing him out of the race. And I'm thinking I'm seeing a little bit of change in the track, because I now see Barroso, changing his line. He is now running a little bit higher on the track. So I'm thinking maybe the track is starting to change, especially in 1 and 2. He's riding a low line in 3 and 4. I just saw a puff of smoke come out of the 4 car. That's kind of weird. But he's riding the low line in 3 and 4, and the high line, I think he's trying to kill the momentum of the 4 car right now, but he was riding the high line.
Right now, your track temperature is sitting at about 73 degrees, so it should be interesting to see how much it's going to change as the night gets later on.
And the 4 car has caught the 12. He is up 8 positions right now. Seven positions, excuse me. Right now. going for that lead. It's like we got a small battle for fourth place as the 21 is on the inside of the 19 trying to take that fourth position away from Matt Smith. The only thing I can think of right now is I would sit back, ride, not battle too much, because the more you battle, and I think you can agree with me on this, but the more you sit side by side, the further those leaders are going to get.
Oh yeah, it's too early to be racing hard. I'm just gonna take it easy and just cruise with it. I mean, you still got about 90, about 98 laps left. I mean, you've got at least 3 or 4 pit stops. A lot can change.
And the 4 has caught the 12. The 4 is on the inside of 12, riding that low line, trying to take that lead position away from the 12. He's not going to have the momentum on that low line. He's going to have to try to get that 12 off that high line and use that momentum to get around him.
And you've got Nathan Eastep, who is just sitting patiently, waiting for them two to make a mistake.
Yeah, I think that the 4 maybe had scrubbed the wall just a little bit. He lost a lot of momentum in the middle of that turn, and that allowed the 55 to close up that gap that he had.
And we've got a good little three-way battle breaking down in the 7th, 8th, and 9th position.
The 24, the 11, and the 1 all fighting for the same real estate. One's on that high line, using the high line's momentum to try to catch back up to the 11 and get back up on his bumper and take that position away. And the 22, it looks like he has come to life a little bit. So I'm thinking he saved what he has as I see the 1 get into the wall a little bit. '22 was able to make the pass. I think you are right. The 22 was saving what he had for the end of the stage, and now he's ready to make some moves as he overtook the 1. Now let's see if he can get up to the bumper of that 11 car and see if he can take that position away. And these 2 up front, actually these 3 up front, Barroso, Hall, and Estep are still battling it out. The 4 was able to draft back up to the bumper of the 12. And he is now battling for that lead. And here comes the 55 on the inside of the 4, taking that second position away. It looked like we had a little bobble out of the 4 car as they were coming into the tri-oval. I'm not exactly sure if he scraped that wall or not, but does look like he lost a little bit of momentum, and that allowed the 55 to just sail on by. Steve Tucker, Brandon Perry, and Matt Smith, and Gary Donaldson, they are still fighting. They are still fighting for the same real estate, and that is going to be 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th place, all underneath a blanket, trying to get the best stage finish they can, as we are 26 laps into the race, and we will see our first stage break coming in the next few laps. Back up front, I'm watching the 12. The 12 still has the lead. The 55 is still in tow with using draft, try to get back up to that 12 car. He wants a piece of the pie. He wants a stage win. And in just a matter of, as he gets into the wall, he is able to save it. Looks like he has a little bit of right side damage that causes him to lose a lot of momentum, but great save by that 55 of Nathan Eastep. Allows the 4 car to go back up to the second place. And let's see if he is able to catch that leader. They do have one fast repair. Depending on the severity of the damage, how it hurts the handling of the car, they may be able to fix it without using that fast repair. Save that fast repair for the critical moments in the race where you make a mistake and you damage your car really bad. Doesn't look like he got a lot of damage, but just a small bit can affect the handling of this race car, especially riding on that high line. Could make your car really tight, or it could make it turn a little bit better. Only time will tell. And looks like we are on the final lap of the stage. And looks like Frankie Barroso is going to take the stage win with Dustin Hall, Nathan Eastep, Joshua Weston, and Steve Tucker, your top 5 for stage 1. So as we run through the field, Barroso, Dustin Hall, Nathan Eastep, Weston, Tucker, your top 5. We're Brandon Perry, 6th. Matt Smith, 7th. Gary Donaldson, 8th. The first Ford in the race, Blake Henderson, 9th. Hunter Whitlock, Boyer, France. That wraps up all the cars on the track at the end of the stage. And it looks like Hunter Whitlock has a lot of damage to that lonely Toyota in the field. He may have to use his fast repair early and get that car repaired, because if not, he is not going to be able to keep up with the field. Looks like the race off pit road is going to be Frankie Barroso, Dustin Hall, Brandon Perry made it out 3rd. 4th is going to be Bryce Boyer. 5th is going to be Gary Donaldson, Josh Weston. Looks like Nathan Eastep is going to be fixing some of that damage, possibly from the little incident where he hit the wall. but he comes out 7th. Matt Smith comes out 8th. Steve Tucker 9th. France 10th. Blake Henderson comes out 11th. And Hunter Whitlock is back on the track. Looks like he still has a little bit of damage done to his Toyota, so he is going to be saving that fast repair for later. So going back up to the front, we have Frankie Barroso in that 12 car on the inside and Dustin Hall on the outside in row 1. Gary Donaldson is on the outside in that 4th position. Brandon Perry in 11 is on the inside. Nathan Estep and Josh Weston is in the next row. That is going to be row 3. Estep on the outside, Weston on the inside. Matt Smith and Hunter Whitlock. And row 4, Blake Henderson and Bryce Boyer. Green. And we are green flag racing again. And these two were on the money. They both got a good jump on the restart. Barroso on the inside, Hall on the outside. Outside, which one's going to be more dominant, outside or inside? You got a little bit of wiggle from the 12, but he stays in it, and he stays right next to the 4. Oh, as Dustin Hall, he hits the wall very hard. Oh, the 22 is going around also, the 24, and it's a big one here at Kansas. I cannot believe what I just saw. That was a crazy wreck. Dustin Hall gets into the wall, and Mayhem is followed behind him.
And it looks like the cars kept moving, so iRacing did not throw the caution on that one. You know, Barroso
Dustin Hall took a lot of damage.
Barroso's breathing pretty easy right now, knowing he ain't got Dustin Hall right in his rearview mirror taking it up.
But that old timer Chevy Camaro has some speed in it. So I would not count him out. Even though he is 1.3 seconds back, we saw him make up a lot of time earlier. He was 0.7 seconds back, took him a couple laps, but he was able to catch up. And a lot of good cars. Crazy how that did not throw a caution. Looks like the 24 had to be towed in. He is showing 1 lap down now. Still have those fast repairs, so he may be able to get back out and, get some of those laps back if we have another caution. Looks like the 22 has a little bit of left rear quarter panel damage, from that spin, but he may be able to get that fixed really quick in pits. So after all that mayhem, look who is now up to 6th place and fighting for 5th. Mr. Henderson in that Gladiators Ford Mustang. Josh Weston is still riding in that 4th position with Bryce Boyer in that 3rd position. He is hung out in the back, At the start of the race, we saw him in the back, and he has made it up quite a few positions, and now running in fourth place. Really glad to see him up front. Always brings his A game every week, and we'd like to see him on the podium. As the 21 of Weston, he's trying to take that third position away from Boyer. So this is a pretty good battle heating up as they are catching the 55 for the second position. So it looks like Mr. Henderson has started believing in himself because he's worked his way up to 6th, and he is working on the 19 of Matt Smith. So let's see if he can work his way around and get his car up in the top 5. That will do good for his points if he can make the pass and get those stage points.
Well, right
19
now,
had a little bit of bobble.
That, we don't speak much of. He's moved up to the P3 position, and that is Bryce Boyer, who has now got a fight on his hands with the 21 car of Josh Van Winston.
Absolutely, and they have tracked down the 55 of E-Step, so he's come to play. Looks like I don't know if the 55 used his fast repair. He could still possibly have a little bit of damage, which could be affecting the handling of that race car. Good enough to keep it out front, or keep it out front of the one, but I think in the long run it might hurt him if he did not fully repair it.
Yeah, Josh Van Winston, he's missed the past couple races we're right with right now. He's watching a battle develop between him, the one car, and Nathan Eastep. If they could actually get a kind of a drive formation going, they might possibly be able to catch up with Barossa before the end of stage 2.
Barossa has shown that he has the speed. So, what do you think? Got one more, got stage in. That's going to become, 59 to lap 60. What do you think? What would you do if you were in their shoes? He has a fast car. How would you play that out on this?
Keep doing what I'm doing and being patient because it's obviously working right now.
Yep. As the 21 is fighting to try to take that third position away. Looks like Boyer is having a little bit of a handling issue with his car. I think I saw him scrape the wall just a little bit early on in coming to the tri-oval. And here comes the 21 to the inside of Boyer, and he's going to ride that low line, take that position away. Oh, it looks like I've seen Mr. Henderson go off track.
Yeah, it looks like he went off just a little bit, but he's got it back under control now, it seems.
And the pressure is on from the lonely Toyota.
Oh, and Josh Van Winston's decided to go through the tri-oval.
And he is about to lose some real estate.
And he gets into the wall. He's coming out of 3, and he does a good job on holding it going across the tri-oval, straight up on the grass into turn 1.
Yeah, that was a great save, and that's exactly what Bryce Boyer did earlier. He bounced it off the wall. He didn't go into the grass, but he did get a little bit sideways, and that's going to hurt the speed on that number 21 Chevy Camaro. Um, so we may see him do a little bit of fast repair on that car. And that's going to give Mr. Boyer some breathing room.
I'll tell you right now, looking at the last laps, you've got Steve Tucker, who has put down a 31.2. And the tires that they're running right now, that is the fastest.
Yeah, that's the fastest on the track. He is being shown 2 laps down. So he will be able to manage to get one of those laps back at the end of the stage, and I'm pretty sure he's back there hoping for a caution um, to get back on that lead lap and see if he can get that 24 car back up near the top.
And as you can see right there, the lap times between the P5 and P6, they are pretty similar to each other.
Yeah. Okay. And we have the 11 car battling that 21. We saw the 21 get into the wall a little bit earlier. He 21 was not able to hold off the 11 car due to that damage that he caused. It has killed the momentum of his car. So that's just going to allow the 11 to skate on by for that 5th position. And it looks like the 11 is going to go try to track down the 19 for maybe another spot. Looks like the 19 is a little bit quicker than Boyer and Perry. So I don't know if Perry will be able to catch him if he is running just a little bit quicker. But the 19 may be able to catch Boyer before the stage comes to an end, as they have 3 laps to go in stage 2. And I know that's going to be a big break for that 21 car, as he's still fighting to keep the positions that he has. You have Henderson that is right behind Weston, and he may be able to overtake as long as they have enough laps and Henderson has enough speed in that car. He may be able to overtake Weston for that 6th position and make up some of those points. Dustin Hall, I know he is just begging for that caution because we saw him involved in that incident earlier. So he has a little bit of damage that is slowing his ride down. And Mr. Whitlock, I know he wants to have some more of that damage repaired on that lonely Toyota in the field. As we come back up to the front, our leader Frankie Barroso has just checked out. He is in his own zip code. He is 4.5 seconds ahead of the 55 of Nathan Eastep.
I'll tell you something else, though,
As we
that
see,
Frankie has done out there in Kansas. He has nobody around him, pretty much like there's nothing out there in Kansas.
pretty soon he ain't gonna be in Kansas anymore. As I just watched Dustin Hall, he scraped the wall and he got a little bit more damage done to that Chevrolet Camaro, and we are under caution. That was a good save by Dustin Hall. He did exactly what Weston did. He went through that tri-oval, but he was able to keep it under control. So let's see who has a fast repair and who doesn't.
Wonder if they're fast repair. We're going to take a minute, and if you're out there watching, need you a good paint, look up BEP Paints, the primary sponsor here of HTL iRacing League.
You feeling all right?